You need to stop interrupting. Max, you need to get the fucking point, okay? That's both of your assignments for this, okay? Max, you should be able to say any point in less than 15 minutes. Lab, you should be able to let him talk for more than 10 seconds without interrupting, okay?
I'm sorry. I'm so angry.
Good.
I want to
be angry, that's fine, but we need to wait our turns, okay? All right, Max.
So, when you say you wouldn't stop no matter what, that clearly implies that it should have been stopped. Why should it have been stopped? Well, you've given two reasons. One is Shaylin's emotional dysregulation, and the other is mine. You're saying that I should have stopped it or she should have stopped it. Steven, you're giving this withdrawer-pursuer dynamic thing, and you're saying the pursuer should stop pursuing once he sees the withdrawer is getting that upset, or that more is it the withdrawer's responsibility. I'm saying, what if it's just a fight, and it was nobody's responsibility because nothing that fucking bad happened? Maybe just people can't stand watching two people get upset. Except, is it really two people? You keep saying that I was the one
an abuser, or do I like?
Whoa! Let him finish.
Like,
except, is it really? I'm going as fast as possible.
I know you're good. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Except, is it really two people who are upset and dysregulated? You said I called her a bitch, but I didn't call her a bitch in that conversation. I called her a bitch. Well, I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I've watched it more times than anybody. But I don't remember calling her a bitch. In fact, I don't even really remember getting angry at all. I think there's one. I called her a demon like a week later. I coined the term demon a week later. But in that conversation, I did call her a monster at one point in the conversation. I had a flare of anger, and I lashed out, and that lasted about 5 seconds before I did regulate myself. For the rest of the conversation, I'm not angry at her at all. I wasn't angry. I literally didn't get angry at any point throughout the conversation.
Okay.
So to say. I mean, this is my experience. Maybe you think I was.
Do you think that I'm calling?
Let me just finish. This is the last thing. The last thing.
Wrap it the fuck up.
Maybe you think I was enraged. My experience was that I was not angry at all. I think I felt pretty good for most of the conversation. I was enjoying holding my boundaries. I was enjoying telling Shaylin to hold her boundaries. I was enjoying my orange. I had a great time. I could see that she was agreeing to my sex plan, and I was like, it's going to be so fucking fun. I'm excited about that.
Wrap it up. Bring it to the end. Good time.
I did. Not only was I not dysregulated, I didn't even get angry.
Okay. Laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that you don't think that I went into that conversation being like, you're an abuser. I just had like some notes. I don't even really remember how we got there, but I feel like I feel like you forced me to give you feedback on this when I actually think that you did the interaction pretty okay. Like I don't think that you were abusive.
Well, then why'd you say I stopped no matter what?
Whoa, is this Max interrupting now? What's happening?
Well, why did you say that? If you don't think that.
No, this is what I mean. Where I felt like we were just having a conversation like through each other.
You just said I didn't handle it well, and now you're saying that you do think I handled it well.
I think that you handled it.
So which is it?
Well,
why don't you give your official statement?
I think that you probably could have handled it better. Do you think that there's no way that you could have handled that even better in a way that it didn't, make your partner feel like she had to, or didn't, where Shaylin didn't get emotionally dysregulated?
Me saying I think the conversation went pretty well and was not at the point where one of us should have stopped.
But do you think she went?
Emotional dysregulation is not the same as me saying that I think it could not have possibly gone better.
Do you think she thought it went well? Because there's two people in this relationship, Max.
Okay, are we done? You're not responding to anything I just said, so do you want
to... Wait, hold on, wait.
Are you starting a new topic?
Wait, it sounds like she's asking, was there any better way you could have approached the conversation? Yeah? Yes? Loud? Hello? Loud? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry. Is there... it sounds like you're asking him, was there a better way that he could have approached the conversation?
Yes, and also I asked if Shaylin thought that it was a productive conversation, because I think that Max is putting a lot of like, I thought that I did this so well. But there's more than one person in your relationship, and there's more than one person with emotional needs.
Okay.
So
Max,
even though it's not your responsibility,
I think it's a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so Max, do you think you could have done anything better in that conversation?
I don't think you should. I think you're Steven.
What? Yeah.
I think you're allowing her to not respond to anything I just said.
Wait, what response are you
I'll
looking for?
I'll respond after.
Hold
I'll
on, no, wait.
right after.
What response
About
were you
the-
specifically looking for?
About the smuggling in of premises, where I
think
said
she-
you implied.
Or go ahead.
I said I think you implied that the conversation should have been stopped. Then she said, no, I think you actually handled
And
it
I
pretty
clarified.
well.
I said that's
But-
not what I meant.
Well, it's fine if
I
you.
already engaged. So I can't engage with something that you think
Yes,
I did
but
because I didn't do it.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if I can rephrase what she said before. It sounds like what she meant to say, if she was slightly older and more articulate, she would have said there were points in that conversation where you probably could have stopped it to the benefit of both of you. Not that you absolutely needed to. Maybe is what.
Well, that seems like an important disagreement that we have, where I don't think that's true. So my tolerance for people being upset, Shaylin and myself, it seems to be higher than you seem to think it should be. And
no.
so what?
No. You're trying to make me this like nameless, faceless.
Just
I
respond.
understand
Instead of saying
the
what I'm
feedback that
doing,
you have
just
gotten
respond.
by everyone
Just
else.
respond. Do
You're
you
not
think I should have?
responding with me. You're not responding with anything I'm giving you. You're placing intention on me. You're putting words in my mouth.
Okay.
It's impossible.
I think you're being really evasive, but if you want to control
I'm
the
not
next
being
exchange,
evasive.
what would you like it to be about? What do you want to talk about?
Do you think you are really projecting onto me this like control freak image, and I've tried to let it go.
Okay.
I've tried
If you're
to
not
have
going to
an
answer my
ego
question,
about this
you know what I think is a little slippery, and Steven, I think you're letting her get away with this.
Hold on, I'm banning
She
my
and
phone.
she and I are having a disagreement about how my doll conversation went, right? And so she says
We're not even
she's
really
saying,
disagreeing, but you really think that I'm disagreeing with you, though, and I've just told you I don't even necessarily disagree with you. And then we got to the point where
she's saying one thing, and I'm saying another thing. I don't know what she's saying, and you can clarify your stance again, Lab, if you want. And I'm saying another thing, and then she switches to, well, what does Shaylin think?
Well, no, Shaylin was the second question. So I think what's happening.
I know, but it's not really relevant.
Yes,
then
it is. It's relevant because you're in a relationship with another human being.
So it's okay. So it seems like if I'm broadly understanding her concern, it's that if I couple the what did Shaylin think with the was it a productive conversation, with the it's a two-person relationship, et cetera, and was it like do you have responsibility to make the conversation way better? It seems like she's broadly concerned with both sides of the equation. But it sounds like from your point of view, you're saying things like, well, I got what I wanted out of it. I'm not really concerned what Shaylin thinks about this particular thing, and you're just not okay with seeing people being uncomfortable. The disagreement between you two is how much responsibility do you alone have for avoiding or mitigating hurt feelings or tears or whatever during a conflict.
And Max thinks not.
Sure.
Max is broadly saying that, listen, people fight. That's relationships, you know? Sometimes people cry, and I think that you're uncomfortable with that, and that's not fair. And it sounds like Lav is saying, yeah, people can get upset, but the responsibility is on both parties to make sure that, like, somebody's not literally drilling the fuck out of somebody else when they're being emotionally speculative. So this is where you both are.
Yes, but beyond just saying that it's Shaylin's responsibility to hold her own boundaries, I'm saying it is abusive to take that role away from her and decide for her whether or not. And so there's a certain point at which you should do that. I completely agree. If somebody becomes a shivering, unresponsive mess on the floor and pees their pants, at a certain point,
that's so extreme. Why can't you just see that your partner is crying?
I want you to let me finish
what
I'm saying, Lav. I want you to let me finish what I'm saying.
So that you don't have to answer my question? That makes sense.
Okay, just write your question down and save it for when he finishes, and then you can answer his question. And then
write your question down, and then you can say something else.
Don't echo what he's saying. Don't echo what he's saying.
I'm making fun of you. I'm changing what he said to be something new. Okay.
I know.
Yes, so I'm going to finish what I'm saying, despite you.
Okay, just finish what you're saying. Stop attacking each other. Go.
Okay.
He's attacking me.
No, you're
Steven,
both.
help.
All of you are attacking each other. Go.
I think that, yes, we're saying that we have a disagreement over at what point the pursuer person pursuing the conversation should stop the conversation on the behalf of the other person and say, you know what, I don't think you should. I don't think you can handle this anymore. So I'm not willing to continue the conversation about the question I'm asking. You're not saying you want to stop, but I'm not going to ask you this question anymore because you're too upset. And what I'm saying is that that's a double-edged sword. It may look like a really nice thing that you're doing by stopping the other person from being upset. The problem with it is that I also think that you are not that tolerant of other people's emotions. And one way to be intolerant of other people's emotions is to overly placate them and not be willing to have a conversation in which there is room for them to be upset by doing things like saying, well, if you're going to start crying, then I'm not going to ask you this question anymore.
You added so much subtext though. Like that's not who I am, and that's not what I think.
Okay, wait, Lav. Okay, I'm gonna translate. Okay, so
Please.
what he's saying is that let's say you've got two people that are having a conversation, okay, and when the other person starts to get upset, you're saying that ideally, if you see your partner's getting upset, you're gonna say, hey, listen, partner. I think that you're getting a little bit upset. I'm gonna take a moment. We can both take a breather.
No, not even that.
Wait,
not even that. Because I feel like
absolutely.
no. Okay, well, let me clarify. Is that I think that
So
there are
satisfying.
Stop.
I love it.
there are certain cues in your partner that would probably make a normal person be like, oof.
Yeah, hold on, wait, you're restating what I'm saying, but you're like scared to agree with me. That's
Okay.
exactly what I'm saying. I'm
Well,
saying you're talking to your partner, you notice that they're getting like visibly upset, so whatever you just said is happening. You're starting to get something, and you're saying, okay,
Sure,
hey, we're gonna.
I think I should add that I also think that, like, I agree with Max when he said that that's a slippery slope.
Well, then what is your disagreement?
I've been saying that I really do agree with a lot of what he says. I think he made up I said this and he was like, well, that could be abusive, and I know that.
Well, if it could be abusive, why suggest
I'm just
it?
hoping.
Do you think that?
Well, no, because if you can make it not, I feel like he's smart enough to make it not abusive, right?
Okay,
like, I
draw
feel
the
like
line
he
then
has
for us.
good
What's the difference between
intentions.
it being abusive and being not abusive?
Well, it depends on, I guess, your intent.
No.
If you really cannot see,
No.
if you really cannot see the conversation going anywhere, and you can see that you are hurting your partner's feelings and that it's not productive, or that you don't feel like your point is getting put across, it feels
I would
like
like to-
maybe it feels like you could just be like, oh fuck, I should come back to this later. I should come back to this later.
I would
Not
like
even
to,
like you should come
respond.
back to this later, because that's infantilization. I don't think we should do that, especially with women. But I do
Well,
think that you should,
sounds like
in
you do.
yourself. No, I don't.
Whoa,
no.
Max! Are you cutting Lav off? Okay, Lav, finish your statement. Go
I
ahead.
would like to respond.
Sure. After she wraps it up.
Respond. That was it.
Okay,
I want to
she's
hear your
wrapped
response.
it up. Go ahead, Max.
I think that it's kind of scary when you say that your intent defines whether it's abuse or not.
Sure, but
That
I think
is-
she
I don't.
moved.
I don't think that that's. I think that you're pinning me in this place because I know what you're trying to do. I know the implications of that, but it's a bunch of things. It's intent. It's your actions. It's like a conglomeracy of everything. Like, it's not.
That's
I
two
think that
things.
we can.
That's not a conglomeracy. That's two things.
Well, I gave you 2 examples. I think it's a bunch of things.
And I have
You want
10
me to
more. I'm
name
just
them all?
not saying them right now. I could. You want to sit here all
Dude,
day and name
why do you-
examples?
why
I
do
mean,
you hate
come
me?
on, bro. Like, what?
Why
We
are
don't
you
have
doing
time for
this?
that. I'm gonna sit here and name 10 million examples. We'll all be skeletons by the time I'm done.
Max, why do you talk to me like this?
Why don't you finish your fucking examples?
Well, no, I feel like
Intents and actions.
I feel like we agree. I will say
I
that-
got a
will
whole
say
bunch.
that
I feel like we agree. I feel like we're on the same page about the other 10 million. No. Intent, actions. What else, Lab? What else do we have? Read the whole list.
I'm not going to. I
floor
let
is
you
yours.
do this. I let you do this to me yesterday, and I'm not going to let you do it again. I want
Okay.
to know. I want to know why you speak to me.
You
this
know
way.
what I want to know? I'm gonna put. I'm gonna this.
You're
Listen to the sound of my
you're
binder of all my
you're
examples
schizo,
dropping to the
by
floor. Flump. I'm gonna put that down. And you know what I want to know? I've got a
Max,
question
you're
for you,
schizo.
but.
Babble.
I'm gonna put. I'm gonna this.
You're
Listen to the sound of my
you're
binder of all my
you're
examples
schizo,
dropping to the floor. Flump. I'm gonna put that down. And you know what I want to know? I've got a
Max,
question
you're
for you,
schizo
buddy.
babbling.
I got a question for you.
Steven, help.
I'm just listening. You guys keep it up. I can tell you what's happening. If you want to know what's happening, I'll tell you. But I'll let you guys fight for a few more minutes.
I want to
okay?
know what,
Okay.
what is going
Well,
on.
I had something I wanted to say.
Also,
So
also,
if you're,
wait, 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 wait,
let
wait,
Max
I'm
go.
not
you're,
done. I'm not done. I'm
okay.
not done.
So
Because I'm this conversation feels like it's kind of hit its whatever. But
why
I
is
do,
Abba and Preach in a chat? Why do they keep talking shit
Stop
about me?
looking
I
at
don't know
chat.
these
Don't
Stop
worry.
looking
Why are
at
you
chat.
looking at chat, Max?
Stop looking at chat. You
'Cause I
weirdo.
wanna
This
know-
is what
'cause,
I knew
'cause
that
I
you were
had-
doing yesterday too. You were doing this
Yeah.
during our call, and you were emboldened by it, and it was horrifying. But I
Yeah.
also wanted to directly.
You know what?
also
I have something I
apologize.
want to say.
Can
He
I-
just told you
No.
to let me finish.
No,
He
can
just
I
told you
need
to
finish.
fucking let me finish. Steven, help me out.
No,
Bubby,
he didn't.
help me
He
out
said
here,
that
buddy.
he was tuning out.
Okay, can I?
What did you just
Can
say?
I?
I'm gonna
can
unmute.
I, okay.
I have to unmute your stream to hear what you said.
No, can I just fit? No, I'm I'm not talking about you guys.
He was tuning out.
Okay, can I? Stop.
Can I?
Stop.
Okay.
Max
Every
is
time
being
I see the
baby
mute
right
go up,
now.
I'm playing your stream into my microphone.
Okay,
That's
can
the
I?
new
Can
rule.
I? Can I tell you? Can I?
That's my boundary.
Can I tell
Yeah,
you
go
what's
ahead.
happening here?
Yeah.
Are you both ready? I'm about to give a scathing review to both of you. Okay, I'm gonna try to.
Yeah,
burn-
I still would like to finish what I
Oh,
was
okay,
saying.
never mind. Let
but
Max
yeah.
finish.
Okay.
Go ahead, Max can finish. Go.
Okay.
I
So I just wanted to say. Well, he's the moderator.
Oh yeah.
Max
it's-
can
it's
finish,
fine.
and then
wait.
Lab can respond, and then we'll
Wait,
see.
wait,
Go ahead.
He just said something.
No,
What
I
did he
did-
say?
I just muted to see if you'd fuck around. You're wasting time. Okay, Max.
you're being baby.
Max, say your piece, and then Lav will respond, and
Yeah,
then
okay.
I will
Okay.
define
Okay,
the
all
conversation
right. I just
with both of
hey,
you. Yeah,
hey, I just
go.
want to hear what you. I still want to miss any of the stream.
Okay.
Okay. So the last thing I wanted to say was, yeah, intent. So when you say intent, you know what's scary about that, and not whatever the other examples you had, all the other.
Everything you're gonna say, I'm gonna agree with.
That's fine. Then let
Okay,
him
great.
say it.
Good, good. So the rest of the conglomeracy, I'm saying I'm not that concerned with, but intent is very concerning because when you are writing the narrative of yourself, of like what you're doing and who you are, you leave the door wide open for abuse. And
I
so
know.
if you're, the implication being, if I convince myself I'm shutting down the conversation, oh, it's for your good. I'm not being a controlling, abusive fuck who can't stand my girlfriend expressing her feelings to me. I'm being a good caretaker. I'm not installing myself in this position of power as her parent and the author of her internal narrative and the regulator of all of her emotions.
I
I'm
think you're
being
more
a nice
self-aware than
guy.
that. I think you're more self-aware than that.
No, no one is more self.
You're
No
not?
one is self-aware enough to decide
Okay,
whether
you're
they're an
wrong.
abuser. Absolutely
Not
not.
to decide whether or not an abuser, but to understand that their actions have
No,
consequences.
you can never
That
understand
is the dumbest
when
thing
you
I've
are making
ever fucking heard.
Oh, then let me say in something even dumber. You can never know when you are making a power grab for good or for abusive reasons. And
You're
you
right, that
cannot
was
rely
significantly dumber.
you cannot rely on your own fantasies about what kind of person you are to
I agree with
dictate
you.
the controlling behavior you allow
Sure,
yourself
but
to
most
engage
people
in.
live in reality. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's why you're like, nobody can live in reality. But I'm telling you that maybe a lot of people do.
No, everybody's got a blind spot.
Okay, anyway,
Okay.
I agree with what you're saying. I do want to actually, before we go anywhere else, I did want to apologize to you because I feel like when I was rewatching that conversation, I did very unnecessarily trigger you when talking about your mom, and I really did not mean to.
You're doing it
And
again right now.
no, well, no, I'm okay. Well, I'm sorry, but I needed to tell you
You're just
that,
totally changing the subject and bringing up my mother again.
oh,
Why do you
I'm,
think you're doing that? Oh, your
because-
narrative of yourself is your intent. Let's hear about your intent. Because you know what? I don't believe your intent. I don't believe your story about yourself. This is why I started the conversation by telling you that I think you're a
Can you let
fucking
me finish?
abuser. And I still think you're an abuser. And right now you're
Lab
going to say,
should get to
oh,
respond.
yeah,
Lab should get to
Yeah,
respond.
go ahead.
Max, you got to have your piece. Yeah.
Yeah, tell your intent.
I wanted
What's
I
your
wanted
intent?
to apologize to you because I genuinely feel like that hurt you, and I didn't mean to do that. And so
Oh.
if I know that it did do that, so I am sorry that it did that.
Yeah.
If I could go back and rephrase, like, you know, I feel like you are treating me this way because you have an inherent bias towards me because you see me as someone who is maybe in you know, a past relationship or a mother, or I embody
Wait, that's
that,
just the
and it makes
same.
you
That's
upset.
the exact same thing.
Sure, but I
Max,
think
are
it
you cutting her
cushioned
off?
it. I think
No,
it
I'll
also
stop.
it
You go
it
ahead.
cushions it, and it makes it less so. It came off so aggressive that it felt like I was trying to get you, and I didn't want to get you. I just wanted to explain that I felt unheard and that you were being uncharitable, and I felt like it was because of what I represented to you, and that there was nothing I could do to get you to not feel that way about me, and I was feeling powerless. But it came off as very like, oh, and I'm just gonna get this one in here, and I'm sorry that I'm sorry that I did that.
Okay.
Well, can I respond?
Go for it.
I think it's even more terrifying and destructive, and this is why I don't want to platform you, and I don't want to send any fans
Didn't
your
say
way
Simon
because
Says.
it's even more terrifying and manipulative and abusive and destructive that you're doing the exact same thing again now, but dressing
I'm
it up
not.
as
Well,
dressing it up as a conciliatory apology.
Because I
Okay.
feel bad that I hurt you. What do
I
you
don't think
are people
I literally
not allowed
don't think
to
you
feel...
know yourself or what you're capable of.
Okay, Max, this is like schizophrenic. I'm telling you who I am, and you don't believe me, and that's fine. I can't control what you think about me. But I wanted to make sure that I was making amends with you. One, because it makes me feel good because I felt like I hurt you, and that messes with my framework of myself, obviously. And also, it does not feel
Well,
good
I can
to
help
hurt
clear that up for you.
No, I don't, Max. You don't. This is so.
I've got a framework of you that I think kind of incorporates that
You don't.
and
You
this,
don't
and
know.
it all kind of makes sense.
Based off of what? Based off that I told you that I find myself in abusive patterns. I have a very similar upbringing to you, extremely similar. I get caught, and
I doubt that.
I have a deep narcissistic wound with my mother. It has informed the way that I act in my relationships. If I don't catch it, it's why I'm in therapy twice a week, because I have an irrational fear of becoming an abuser, even if I'm not.
Oh my God! Wow, okay. God forbid that you.
Well, can you see
think
that it
you
also
might be,
how
be
triggering this
abusive?
is? No, well, no.
I
of course
do,
I'm
yes,
going-
but I
of
can't
course
give you
I'm going to-
absolution. Did you
Of
come to
course,
me
I'm going
because
to
you
go
thought
into
you
it.
came to me? I see. I'm the guy that if you're an abuser or like a pedophile or whatever, a racist,
No, I just
you
wanted.
come to
I just
me and I
wanted you.
say, well,
I
I
s-
think you're human, and I say it's okay.
No, I
It's
saw you
okay
as
to
the guy
be.
that
It's
everyone loves
okay
to hate.
to rape kids because we're all human. And then that gives
no,
you
I saw
absolution.
you.
Is that
I
what you
felt like-
want from me?
No, I felt like I saw you as you put up this wall. You think that Destiny does it, but I think that you do it. Where you put up this wall that is like
Oh,
just
he's on
so
mute. Wait, wait a second.
like you will
I'm just listening to the
overshare.
two titans fight. Can I?
You will
Yeah.
you will
Okay, keep going.
overshare. You will overshare so that you can undershare. And it's I resonated with that. And I was like, I'm gonna come on this stream and talk to this guy that has like really helped me deepen my perception of myself and tell him that maybe he's been important to me, but also level with you. And it became something that was so. And then, like, whatever relationship I had to you, what parasocial relationship I had to you, for you to then, like, just, like, dig into this wound of me already thinking I'm an abuser felt so awful. And I don't even, and you keep doing it, and I try to
think you're an
characterize
abuser.
myself correctly.
I think you.
And that's
I think
fine.
you are consistently abusive, and I think you have an abusive framework. And even when you're like, "Oh man, I should not be abusive. I should follow this
I thought that
this
you were
rule
right.
set I have in my brain for how I won't be abusive." That rule set is also abusive.
I left our conversation believing everything you said, because I value your opinion. And
Okay,
so I left,
so-
and I was like, okay, I am this person. Also, this comes from my relationship with my mother, where she just altered my reality to the point where I would just like believe everything everyone says. So I internalized it
Yeah.
and was questioning my reality, as one
Okay.
does when you think that you're an abuser and you're scared of it. I went to my
Yes.
fiance. I was like, do I abuse you?
You
I
went to
showed-
no. You can't ask you're a victim if you're an abuser.
Well, no,
He
he listened
can't-
to it. He listened to it, and I said, this conversation made me crazy. What is going
no,
on? And
no,
then,
you're asking him to caretake you by reassuring you that you're not an abuser. So now
No,
one
no,
last little
no,
strand of
assuring me
hope
is not
is
act-
taken
no, I was
away.
accuracy
One last little
testing.
strand of hope is taken away from him.
no,
I will
I
tell
was
you,
accuracy testing because
It is.
you made
It's
it
not.
so that I
you
can't trust
cannot.
my reality.
You cannot ask
so I
the
had
person.
To go,
You cannot
then
ask
who,
your
then I just go to
gaslighting.
you? Then I just go
You
to you.
can't-
I just ask you
you-
what I'm doing. If
you
my
can't
therapist
ask-
doesn't think I'm
you-
abusive, if my
Hey.
victim doesn't
Laugh.
think I'm abusive, then is it just you?
You can't ask your gaslighting victim if you're abusing them
I wasn't like,
and then,
am I
remember
and
the
then
rest of this
parade
specific?
around their answer as though it's evidence in your favor. It doesn't
didn't.
fucking
That's
matter
not what
if
I
he
was
thinks you're
saying.
abusive.
Okay.
Doesn't
I
matter.
internalized it regardless of how he felt about it. I still am reeling from our conversation, still scared that that's what I do, even though he told me that it's not. And I think that there's some truth in what you're saying. Obviously,
Yes,
I
what I'm
think
saying
that,
is true. It is what you do.
no, but it's not what I do actively. It is my first, maybe it's my
I just
framework.
I just
Maybe it's my
passively do
framework,
it.
but I'm
Yes.
trying. No, it's
I
not
know
that
you're
I'm
not
actively
trying.
do it.
I know you
I
don't
am
want to be an
actively in
abusive
charge.
person. I know
I
you
am
don't want to
actively,
abuse.
let me talk.
Who
I am
wants to be?
actively in
Okay.
charge of myself.
Yeah,
I'm doing the work. I go to therapy twice a week.
I know.
internalize everything you and my therapist say. I'm trying to be the person that I want to be. I know that my framework is garbage,
Okay.
and I'm accuracy testing because it
Don't
seems
do
like
that.
maybe
I don't think you should do that.
no. I think that you're incredibly incorrect when you tell someone not to accuracy test.
The way you're doing it, I don't think is accuracy testing is the
The
problem.
way
because
you
if you
mischaracterized
let's
the way I did it. I
let's
said
go
a
through
anecdote,
let's go through a little
and you
decision
fucking
tree.
Tore
Let's
into it.
let's go through a little decision tree.
God.
If
Can
you
you
actually
Jesus.
if you are abusing your fiance and controlling his thoughts about you via whatever suggestion or withdrawal or coercion,
As you think all
if
women
you-
do.
the exact time and place.
just no, we're talking about you right now. We'll talk
As
about
you-
the other
no, but
rest.
I
We'll
think
talk
it's
about the
important to know
rest.
that
Well, now
you
you're
think this
discrediting me.
about all
Look, do you want to know? Do you want to know what I think?
You've discredited me every single time I fucking say anything.
Do you want to
so
know what I
like-
think or not?
I mean, yes, but I also.
Okay, so
also
that's
no.
fine. Yes, Mr. Girl hates women. That's fine. Whatever. I still think what I think, and I want to share it with you.
Okay.
And so here's what I think.
Can you?
If
Can I
it's-
ask you
if-
before you do it? Can you?
No.
Can you?
Obama.
Okay.
No, I just want
Nice.
to say it. So
Okay.
if we agree that the thing you're accuracy testing for is, do I gaslight my fiance?
Obama.
That wasn't it.
If the answer is yes,
So
then
no. So
asking your
I don't wanna
fiance
go
if
on
you
this
gaslight him
conversation. You're taking
doesn't
me down
really
this
make
pathway,
any
and that's not what
These
I was
guys are
doing. So
good.
I don't want to engage with something that I did not do.
These guys are
You're
good.
not gonna.
Okay.
You're not gonna pin me in this like
okay,
you did yesterday.
do you understand when I say that when I'm calling you abusive,
Obama.
I'm saying that the
Wow,
way
What about-
I
what
explained,
about-
I explained
105
this
S. Thanks
yesterday.
for giving me 20
Okay,
ter-
I explained this
really
yesterday, but I'll
cannot-
explain
Thank
it
you.
again. I'll explain it again.
Thank you.
It's a combination of a bunch of things.
Obama.
It's a constellation of it's a conglomeracy, if you will,
You think
that
that me accuracy
leads-
testing
that leads to
is planting
Obama.
seeds of thought?
no, not planting seeds of thought, but
But controlling the
I
narrative.
think your fiance,
narrative.
yes, yes, controlling your fiance's narrative
Of
by
course.
Obama.
And you don't think I'm aware
by-
of that with the intensive therapy I'm in. You don't think that I'm
I think
aware
you-
that that is something that
okay.
can happen, and I
the
try to avoid.
mechanics of how you control
That's
his
why you're supposed to
narrative.
moderate. Listen, this
are
combo went off the rail.
Slipping,
I'm just-
slipping in premises
we're just
to
watching
things
it
without
crash and
him
burn
knowing
now,
that you're
okay?
slipping them in, giving yourself like Hitler an
Obama.
excuse for why you need to take power and convincing
as
him
a
that
Jew, relax.
convincing him to hand you over that power by saying, "Oh, yeah, okay, you're doing
Obama.
this for my own good." Here,
if
you
I was
can-
a lesser
you can-
version of
you can-
myself, I would do that. Sure.
Okay,
I know
well,
that
I do
I'm
think you
capable
do
of
that.
that. I know that I'm
withdrawal,
capable of that. I
emotional
make sure
withdrawal,
that that is
emotional
not
withdrawal.
What I do because I'm in
emotional
therapy
withdrawal-
and I care about my
Yes,
partner.
I understand. This is just what I think. You know,
We still
that's
on for
fine if you
25?
don't.
And I'm
Oh,
telling
please
you
go.
what
Yeah,
you
for
think
sure.
is wrong, and
Obama.
you
You
are
don't think
you're
using
capable
what
of
you think
moderating
is
this?
gospel.
Well,
That-
there's like there's a thing that's going on, but I have to wait for them to stop so I can describe it. But